Hey everyone, it's Judge
and Marras,
and welcome back to the Rune Factory playthrough. So, I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing in this part. I do notice though that some of my strawberries have grown, so I'm apparently going to avoid picking those. Come on past me, go pick strawberries. Don't look at menus. Why are you pausing? I'm guessing I'm off to get some rune points from the dungeon? I only recorded this yesterday, I should know what I did. Oh yeah, I stopped using the escape spell when I got rune points there, because it's actually quicker just to run back round when you're only going to the very entrance there.
Yeah.
Took me a while to realise that. Here we go, strawberries.
Giant strawberry.
It's funny, it's this whole batch of little tiny strawberries on the actual thing, and it turns to one giant strawberry when you pick it up. You'll notice I've already watered these spots. You don't need to water them before picking the strawberries, I just found it convenient, because obviously I was watering the rest as well. As I said earlier, those strawberries then will regrow on those, and they won't take as long either. You can notice they're at a little bit more of an advanced stage of the growing process than the other parts next to them that are just still those little buds. So, really, those regrowing vegetables are your best source of, if you are going to use farming to earn money, those regrowing vegetables are pretty much your best source of doing that.
Definitely.
They regrow just so quickly, and obviously with no cost, that it's silly, really.
Only if you really want to get specific vegetables or make specific foods, you should try the other plants.
Yeah.
Growing, but for money, strawberries.
Strawberries and in autumn grow sweet potatoes, which is what I'm growing in this cave. Come on past me doing editing. Why aren't you editing this out? we already saw taking care of this part of the dungeon in the last part. I don't need to see it again.
Chop.
I guess I wanted to leave more space for us to talk about things. Did you have anything else you wanted to say about this game?
If I did, I forgot.
These first two caves, I mean, do you think they were a good introduction to the idea of the caves, the difficulty level and so on? Do you think that they worked very well?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have any trouble with them.
Yeah, I think the first cave, just the way we played it, because we weren't focusing too much on the combat first time around, took us a bit longer than perhaps it should have. It took us quite a while, and I don't know how long we spent in the second cave, because I know for a fact in this playthrough I'm going to be spending a lot of time in the second cave, because I want to upgrade my house before even moving on to the third cave. So that's my plan, which it means I'm probably not going to record a good number of days where I'm just farming wood and doing nothing else. It would be a bit silly to record all those days.
Yeah.
But that's my plan for the second cave, is just to farm wood, farm gems, which it's a bit of a weird way to use the term. Obviously, farming in most games just refers to collecting items over and over. In this game, there's literal farming, but no, I'm just collecting the wood that spawns and all the gems and so on. Wood, of course, only spawns once a day, so if I have any leftover time and energy in the day, I just spend it farming for gems and so on, and then just selling those and getting lots of money. Which, of course, you need 200,000 gold to be able to upgrade your house, as well as the 2,000 wood, so...
Oh, that's quite a lot.
It sounds like quite a lot, but once you start mining at the same time as, chopping for wood, it really just builds up quite quickly. Really, once you're able to mine gems and also higher level things like silver, I'm not sure if it's this part or next part, but in one of the parts coming up, I mine... silver is 400 gold per level, and I mine, at one point, a level 11 silver. So that one piece of silver alone is worth 4,400 gold.
Wow.
So getting to 200,000 is no problem when you got that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So, what am I doing now? I cut to the bath. I didn't cut back from the bath, so something important's got to be happening. Oh, I remember now. Because it's holiday, that means that Ivan is standing around selling his stuff, which I forgot to do the previous week. I forgot to go see him. I nearly forgot to go see him today, but I didn't. And thankfully, he hangs around until 6 o'clock rather than 5 o'clock, so he'll still be there to chat to when I get to him. And this is actually a really important visit to Ivan, this one. He has a shelf today. The large shelf you can only get if you have a large house, same as the large refrigerator. The table set is completely useless, it's just a decoration in your house. I don't even think you need it to marry. You need like a double bed to marry, which you can buy from Ivan. You also need an upgraded house to get the double bed. But I don't think you need a table set to marry, it's just there. There it is, for decoration. Anyway, the shelf basically acts as an outside of inventory storage space. So all this stuff that I don't use, the sickle and the little detection device, whatever they called it, the swords that I'm not using right now, the oars and so on, all of that you can just put straight onto your shelf here, and obviously that frees up a lot more inventory space and makes the menus less cluttered when you go and change your tools and so on. Yeah,
the inventory gets really cluttered.
Yeah.
So yeah, the shelf is good.
Yep. You'll notice I tried to put one of the grasses in there and it refused to go in there. The screen sort of blurred out a bit and it buzzed. The fridge from right back at the beginning of the game, the first thing that Ivan wanted to sell us, that's where you put things like plants, including grasses, and including any vegetables that you've grown. So we can't put the grasses away yet, but we've certainly put a lot away and cleared out quite a bit of space there.
Yes, obviously things don't go bad in our pockets, but they would go bad in the shelf.
Of course.
You need to put them in the fridge.
Of course. You know, that's how video games work.
Oh.
I'm too nimble to be hit by wolves. But I'm not too nimble to be hit by that guy. I really hate how the enemies get that flash of invincibility after you've used a combo on them, which is long enough for them to hit you. It feels a little bit cheap that they hit you during the, you know, the time that they're invincible. I mean, sure, in many games I do that to the enemies, but that's different. Because they're computer programs, they don't have feelings.
Oh yes, it's unfair because you have feelings.
Exactly. I'm a person, I'm more important. Those guys, by the way, can do the paralyzed status on you. I think we briefly discussed it. It stops you from running. We will be seeing that. I'm not sure if that's this part or the next part, but we will be seeing it soon enough.
I find it pretty amazing that these huge tree stumps appear overnight.
Yeah, well...
Like you'd expect a tree that big to grow here, and then someone chops it down, and then you get the stump.
Well, you know, that's what happens at 5 AM, you know. Maybe the player character from Okami comes along and sprouts a tree, and then I don't know, someone comes along at 5 AM and chops it down, and they can't be bothered to clear up the stump. Maybe the villager from Animal Crossing, there you go, they come and chop it down. They can't be bothered to clear up the stump because they didn't bring their shovel with them, so it's up to you to clear up the stump. There you go.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
We get the leftovers.
Yep. That's a shame. If only the whole tree was here just once. How high is the ceiling in this cave, though? It can't have been a very tall tree.
Well, I mean, it could be any height, really, if you look at the walls. They don't look like they end there.
Yeah, but the door certainly looks like it ends there.
Well, you could go down a ramp first, and then have this giant cave.
No, I meant the door that's just to the north of us here. The door to the boss.
Ah.
That door looks like it has a roof. It has a top edge of the door. I guess the door is too slippery to climb over? I don't know. Or maybe that's sort of in a sort of a little archway area because it's in its own little passage. Who knows?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly. These are the important questions.
How tall was the tree that produced this stump, and how was it cut so cleanly?
Magic. Tree chopping magic. That's the final upgrade to the axe.
That pretty much is the final upgrade, actually. The final upgrade will let you get rid of those stumps in one go, so it basically becomes tree chopping magic. I'm surprised those stumps seem to take no visible damage until you've actually gotten rid of them. Unless you were told that this thing takes 6 whacks to take out a stump, you'd probably, after 3 or 4, just give up and assume the axe needed to be upgraded again.
Yeah, like, I actually had that problem when I was first playing. Like, I had to check the manual over and over again, or maybe an online guide to check that's, like, what?
Especially since the first level of the axe really can't, get stumps. So, with the first level, you might have sat there chopping it for 5 whole minutes and nothing's happened. The second level, you go after 4 or 5 chops, you go, well, clearly nothing's happening here. I'm not about to waste my time again. And so, you just miss it. But no, 6 chops with the first upgrade to the axe. So,
yeah, really, this game should be played with a some sort of game tutorial guide, because the game doesn't tell you everything. Not nearly everything. Or it might even give you false information.
I can't think of a time it's ever given false information.
Well, maybe just lacking information.
Yeah, and maybe the translation has been a bit iffy at times, but I don't think it's ever completely. I don't think it ever completely outright lies to you. But it can be a little vague, certainly sometimes, or just incomplete information.
So don't feel bad about using a guide with this.
Yeah, 969 wood, I think, is what I was checking there. So I'm getting there. I'm gonna get to 2,000 eventually. New day.
This music.
Don't worry, it will be over soon. I skipped it today. What about the music when you were outside running around in areas that aren't the farm? That music that was just outside the cave there.
That's fine, because you don't spend much time there. And it's not as bad. And I think the other seasons on your farm aren't as bad. I can take those, but this just...
Is there anything in particular about this music, or is it just that you heard it a lot when you were first playing?
I heard it a lot, and it's very repetitive.
The instrument choice is very different to basically all of the rest of the music as well. Just pretty much stringy guitars rather than everything else being quite, I suppose, synth heavy? I don't know. What would you call this that's going right now?
What?
What would you call this sort of instrumentation that's going right now? I suppose it's sort of synth and a little bit of a fluty noise? I don't know.
Yeah.
Deep analysis of let's be honest, barely written music that nobody really cared about.
Yeah.
I do find it funny though, whenever I'm going into here, I always get like one little bonus piece of ore or whatever. It's like, yes, I've got my one bonus piece of silver going into that room.
Yeah.
And then I remembered, my RP is low enough that I should go and heal up in the other cave. So, it's one bonus piece of silver for doing something that was completely worthless.
Yeah, really, I don't think this game had much of sound design going on.
Well, if the voice acting is any indication.
Well, like... Even the original. I mean, the music must have been in the original, and the tool sounds.
Yeah.
And they're a bit silly.
The tool powering up sounds basically like some kind of just stock power up noise, which is fine. I mean, it's only a sound that you're going to be hearing an awful lot as you do any kind of work. I do find it silly that it makes a sound when you put something in your backpack, this whip sound. I was about to say, come on past me, why aren't you editing this out? And I don't know why the kid is in the bathhouse there, but he is.
Well, he must take a bath sometimes.
Fully clothed, well, I suppose we take a bath fully clothed as well. And at the very beginning, I suppose Melody was taking a bath fully clothed in the men's bath, so who knows?
Such is the custom here.
I suppose if you go to sleep fully clothed as well. Speaking of his clothes, what is that thing he's wearing sort of from the waist down? It looks like a skirt of some kind, but it also looks like it's the bottom end of a long jacket, but he's not wearing a jacket.
Oh. I don't really know. I think...
He's wearing an apron backwards? I don't know.
Yeah, sort of. Maybe it's like... I recall seeing leather armor like that in like Game of Thrones, but it's on this like... You have the shield in one hand, and on the other side, on the leg, you have leather armor. Because you can't quite... Because that's your sword hand. But he just has it backwards. He doesn't know how to dress himself.
Yeah, I think that's the message of this game. Your character doesn't know how to dress himself, and everyone is too polite to tell him that he looks ridiculous.
What I always wonder about in these sort of games is who designs these clothes. Like, everyone has very specific, like, almost uniforms of their own. in Final Fantasy games and in JRPGs, everyone has very fancy clothes.
I guess it's just the character designs in general. I mean, I know that like the character designer for Kingdom Hearts, who also worked on a few Final Fantasies, really has a thing for zippers and belts.
Oh yes.
To the point where, you know, Donald Duck's hat has a zipper going around the hat, which is utterly pointless. You know, so people often, you know, make fun of that. You know, just the zippers and belts everywhere, and they're often very surprised when they see a character designed by that guy who doesn't have all those sorts of accessories. So I guess it's just the character designer designs the clothes too.
Yeah, but like, I like to think about the in-game.
Oh, I see. In-universe who designs it. I don't know, fashion designers can be weird and wacky as well, can't they? So
I suppose.
Heck, there's probably someone out there who's made a dress out of cheese slices or something.
Well, there was the meat dress that Lady Gaga wore, so...
That's true.
That's close enough.
Well, no, it's a completely different product. That's meat.
Well, it's non-vegan, so that's close enough.
I don't know, the kind of cheese slices I'm thinking of, I'm not sure if they're made from any actual cheese.
Oh yeah, the sort of...
Processed things, yeah.
Processed in plastic that you wrap open.
Yeah. That door that we just passed through there, by the way, blink and you'll miss it door, that's the other door I was talking about earlier that I think has the same trigger as the door we went through to get to the other level of this cave. Because it just opened for me, and I didn't bother coming here any other time in this playthrough, so I can only assume that door opens under the same conditions. I like these two
slimes.
I was going to say these two little slimes down here. They're cute. They're just sat there on the other side of the fence. They can't do anything, so they're just waiting.
Yeah, they're nice, but I think they had some nasty attack, maybe like seal or something like that.
It wouldn't surprise me if they had paralyzed that slowed you down. I do know they drop an item called Little Crystal, which is actually quite a good item for crafting. That you can mine in one of the later caves, but you can also just get from these guys as a drop. So, if you're farming for items for use later, you know, killing some of those slimes is probably worth it. So this is, of course, the other use for the shelf is storing all sorts of minerals that you'll possibly need later for crafting things. Believe it or not, the worthless scrap iron is actually useful sometimes. That there is a level 6 silver, which of course sells for 2,400, so it must be next part when I get the really high level one. But I only bother putting level 1 minerals in here. Like silver, anything above level 1 I just sell, especially because I don't need that much silver right now. I can always go get more. So, you know, it's just like, you know, if it's worth at least 800, sell it.
Yeah.
Off it goes into the shipping box. Which is, I don't know if I said it before, but it's really convenient, that shipping box.
It is.
Anyway, that's the end of this part, so thanks for watching everyone, see you next time, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.